Good morning to all participants. On behalf of the Academy, I welcome you all to day one of the training program for Group D to Group C. The topic for the day is establishment rules. To take you through the topic, we have with us Sri C.H. Ramakrishna, SSOA headquarters. Good morning and over to you for the session.
Good morning, aspirants. I am Ramakrishna, Senior Section Officer, Stores Accounts. Today, I want to take a class on establishment matters. So, it's very important item, not only for academic, but also for this day-to-day maintenance of our salary and all. So, everybody who is working in railways should get salary after completion of a particular month. For that, a basic pay is drawn. Then what is meant by a basic pay? The definition is that basic pay means total amount of pay drawn by a railway servant during a particular month. This is called pay. Based on pay, your allowances will be drawn. What are our allowances? HRA, transportation allowance, DA, night duty allowance, overtime allowance, so on. So, simply we discuss about the definitions of establishment matters. We have discussed about the pay. Now, coming to substantive pay. What is meant by substantive pay? Substantive pay is a pay actually drawn in a scale. Now, scales are dispensed now. Only level of pay or grade pay is being drawn with effect from 60 PC. Now, pay. Then coming to DA. DA is drawn twice a year. That is in January and July. 20% is fixed by central government. Accordingly, it is issued. We got the DA. Then transportation allowance. Based on your basic pay or level of pay, with effect from 7th PC and all onwards, we are drawing level of pay. Before that, we should draw according to grade pay. Before that, 6th PC, it is a space case. So, transportation is based on your level of pay. And a fixed percentage of DA is also drawn on that. Actually, this concept of transportation allowance is effective from 5th PC onwards. At the time of 5th PC, only a fixed amount used to draw, like 100 rupees, 200, 300, depending on the basic pay amount. Now, with effect from 6th PC onwards, as basic pay we are drawing, like that, transportation for transportation purpose, a basic pay was also fixed. DA is also drawn on the same. Then, after that, HRA. For the classification of HRA in India, in Indian Railways, there are 3 classifications. One is X, that's Y, Z. Depending on the categorization, HRA is drawn. Now, DA, HRA percentage is 27 for X category, 21 for Y category, and 11% for Z category. This is about HRA. Then, coming to one more important, traveling allowance. Normally, traveling allowance is drawn by an employee for performing a journey within which is more than 8 kilometers from his headquarters. It is in 3 types. One is 30% after completion of 6 hours. Then 6 to 12 hours, it is 70%. More than 12 hours, it is 100%. That is also on the categorization of cities is drawn. Then coming to transportation, that is about traveling elements. Conveyance elements is also drawn. Suppose you are moving from one place to another place, from your headquarters to the place you are allotted to go and attend that particular work. You will be paid some 11 rupees according to the state's transportation rules. Conveyance is also paid. For the purpose of transportation elements, traveling elements, it is allowed for 22 days only. If it is more than 22 days, a fixed amount will be drawn. So, a person who is working in this special establishment section should be aware of this one. A person draws more than 20 days traveling elements, you should stop that work. And a fixed traveling element should be given. That is about traveling elements. Then coming to these are the allowances normally monthly drawn. DA, HRA, transportation. Of course, transportation is a fixed amount, every month it is drawn. But about traveling allowance means when you are performed only, traveling allowance is paid. Apart from traveling allowance, there are some more allowances are there. Night duty allowance, then overtime allowance, and for loco pilots and all, 30% of running allowance is also drawn. Now we are coming to night duty allowance. Who are allowed? Who are eligible for to get this night duty allowance? The persons who are working in night duties, they are eligible to draw night duty allowance. This is applicable from 10 o'clock to morning 6 o'clock, night 10 o'clock to 6 hours, 6 a.m. So 8 hours is allowed for night duty allowance. Earlier, up to some 2020, everybody is used to get, everybody is Group C only, Group C and Group D employees. Now there is a restriction on drawal of night duty allowance. The persons who are drawing 4,200 grade pay, 6th PC, level 6, up to level 6 only, staff are eligible to draw night duty allowance. That is about night duty allowance. Now OT. Who is eligible to draw OT? There are 4 categories in the HOIR. HOIR means Hours of Employment Regulations. Hours of Employment Regulations. Under this, our railway category, railway employees are categorized under these 4 categories. One is continuous, second one is intensive, third one is essentially intermittent, fourth one is excluded category. Depending on their nature of work, and their importance, these categories staff are divided into these 4 categories. For example, to know easily what is meant to intensive category. Railway drivers, guards are coming under this intensive category. The stenographers are now coming under excluded category. So, except excluded category, everybody is eligible to draw overtime. Overtime means the person who is working more than his normal duty of hours. So normally overtime is drawn twice a month. Twice a month means for 15 days he is not getting money and all. It is included in the salary bills only. But for the purpose of trial and computation, it is divided into 2. That is fortnight. In a fortnight, he has to avail 2 days rest. 2 days rest. Normally, for everybody, 96 hours are working hours, roast hours. Then statutory hours are 108. A person who is working more than 96 and below 108 hours is getting single OT. If a person works more than 108 hours, he is eligible to draw double OT. For the purpose of drawal of overtime, basic pay, HRA, transportation, etc. are included for the purpose of computation of overtime. So a person should necessarily avail 2 days of rest. The idea behind is that a person should not work more than continuously work for 14 days. That is about overtime. Then coming to a recoveries point. First one is PF, Provident Fund. Provident Fund 8.33 on the basic pay. Then voluntary Provident Fund. PF is a mandatory and voluntary Provident Fund is the name itself is a voluntary. You can, if you want to save money, you can put in PF in the way of voluntary Provident Fund. That is a maximum amount of Provident Fund can be deposited credited into PF account is 1 month basic pay. So there are so many restrictions, but we did not get anything from our board or Ministry of Finance. So same system is going on. Then the employees who joined Railways after 1/1/2004, they are all coming under NPS, then new pension scheme. The persons who joined Railways or any central government employment, they are guided by NPS rules. What is meant by NPS? NPS is it is applicable to the persons. I have already told. Employees joined on service after 1/1/2004. So these persons are not going to get any pension like our persons who joined before 1/1/2004. So there are how the NPS is recovered. Earlier it used to be recovered from employees' salaries at the rate of 10% basic pay plus DA. There are 2 types of recoveries. One is employees' contribution, that is Railways. Employers, that is Railways. Employee contribution, that is from our salaries. Earlier it was 10% on basic pay DA. Now, with effect from April 2019, employers' contribution is 14% on pay plus DA and employees' contribution 10%. This amount is normally invested in shares and all, and that amount will be paid at the time of retirement. Now, our Railways facilitated these employees to draw Provident Fund advances, like our employees who joined the service before 1/1/2004. How it is drawn? Normally, it is drawn for 4 particular instances. Number 1 is chronic diseases. Number 2 is procurement of immovable property. Third one is marriages, self-marriage or children marriage. These are the areas you can draw advance of the PF. But this PF is whatever the amount you are getting under this advances are withdrawal. It is from your salary only. It is from your contribution only. That too, it is 25%. Maximum is 25%. That is about NPS. One more important thing is earlier employee joined under scheme. When he is deceased, no employment was, no pension was used to given to the families. Now, pension is given to the dependents and employment is also given to the dependents. Offspring or his wife or right. It is a NPS. And coming to, there are certain important items of recoveries. I already mentioned recoveries are mandatory, which are called railway recoveries, and there are certain recoveries which are called non-railway recoveries. Railway recoveries means PF, VPF. Of course, VPF is not a mandatory, but general term I am telling. Then rent, the persons who are staying in railway quarters, electrical charges, then overpayment of pay and allowances, then advances. Now advances are abolished with effect from 7th CPC. Only PCA, that is personal computer advance, is drawn nowadays. Earlier there were so many advances: house building advance, food advance, car advance, festival advance, brat advance, like that. Now no advances are given. So the amount of installment of recovery, that is also railway recovery. Any overpayment, punishments by way of punishments, or some loss to the railway is noticed, it is also recovered from the salaries of the employees. So these are the mandatory recoveries which are imposed, which are required for railway administration, and the recoveries which are not recovered for the purpose for the railways, these are called non-railway recoveries. Example, LIC, income tax, like that. So coming to recoveries aspect, these are the recoveries. Then allowances. I have already covered HRA, transportation. Apart from these, some more allowances are there, which is modified from time to time. One such important is children education allowance. It is applicable to 2 children, sometimes 3 children also. How means? The second issue is twins, means it is allowed for 3 persons also. Now, children education allowance is drawn up to intermediate +2 at the rate of 2,250 per month. On gross, you are getting 27,000 per year per child. This is about children education. One more allowance is also there, which is called, you cannot say that is allowance. The way of getting way of income. See, leave and cash. Normally, we have 360 LAP. Maximum limit is 300. When it is exceeded, normally employee tend to avail the leave or surrender the leave by encashing. So a person can encash his leave 6 times in his service. So for this purpose, he has to apply a leave, that is casual leave or LAP. Then applying pass or PTO. That extent, I mean, 10 days salary will be paid. That is pay plus DA. Then coming to one more important thing is PLB. PLB is also paid with effect once in a year. It is started from 1977. For the purpose of calculation, pay plus DA is only taken and it is divided by 365 days. Number of days will be announced by the government of railways. So accordingly, PLB is paid. One more important recovery is CGEIS, Central Government Employees Insurance Scheme. It is recovered at the rate of 30 rupees per month. It is very, very important thing. Actually, it is paid at the end of one service, or if the employee is received 30,000 plus amount accrued on that one will be paid. The 30,000 is called DLI, Death Linked Insurance, and the amount accrued on that will be paid according to the calculations and all. That is one important recovery, the CGIS. This is about pay and allowances. Regarding some more important items are there for covering under the establishment head, which is called, there are certain types of leaves. One is called, you may be knowing, LAP and CL, you know very well. And one more leave is there, that is called LHAP, leave on off average pay. Normally it is called sick leave. No railway servant should not avail without informing the administration more than 3 days. So normally CL is 8 plus 2. 2 is restricted holidays, 8 normal days. And LAP, leave on average pay, is credited twice. One is January 1st, 15 days, and another is July, 1st July. It is also 15 days. Maximum is 300. If you exceed 300, that will be automatically lapsed for the next following period. What about LHAP? LHAP is, as you know, normally called as a sick leave, but should not be treated as a sick leave, LHAP. While availing, it should be known as, it should be called as unmuted leave. Normally, for January 1st, it is created with 10 days, July 10 days. There is no maximum limit for this particular leave. Then you have to, when you are supposed to avail this leave, when in the case of, in the event of sick and all, you have to report in railway hospital. Accordingly, depending on your sickness, they will advise number of days to be taken as leave. If you are going for a private sick and all, should you report to that particular doctor, he will issue one letter that has to be submitted to the administration immediately after you are fit, because your treatment is at a particular private hospital. You have to take the fit certificate to the railway hospital. According they issue another fit certificate. What particular importance of this leave is from 60 PC. Whenever your LAP is shortfall at the time of retirement, this leave can be utilized for LAP for the leave encashment purpose. Then study leave is there. Study leave is 360 days per year. Yes, it is one service. Suppose if you read well and go for improvement in your education, normally administration is fully satisfied and grants a leave. That is study leave. Then leave not due. Leave not due. One more is leave not is a advanced check. Salary is paid, and in one service 360 days is granted. Salary means half salary is paid. Then one is, another is EOL, extraordinary leave. Extraordinary leave is issued, is granted when you don't have any leave of LAP, LHAP like that. So this is also granted 360 days in one service. Then child care leave with effect from 6th CPC, that is 1/1/2006, 730 days for a working woman are granted. Now with effect from 7th CPC, 730 days, that is 2 years. But first year, first 365 days, full salary is paid. Next salary, next 365 days, half of the pay is paid. Paternity leave is one more one kind of leave granted 15 working days to the male employee when his wife is delivered. It is applicable up to two living children. Apart from these, there are so many leaves which are granted to the railway servants according to the situation from time to time, like a special casual leave, hospital leave, like these are, which are I am covering only important items which are helpful or useful for the examination. Then these are the leaves. Then coming to MACP. MACP means Modified Assured Career Progression. Earlier, CBC, it is called ACP, Assured Career Progression. After completion of 12 years, a promotion, a financial upgradation is used to be given at that time. Now, with respect to CPC, the name was modified and MACP, now it is called MACP. The aim of the government or the railways is to uplift financially or promotion wise. Everybody should get not less than 3 promotions. Normally, earlier, it was in 4th PC, 3rd up to 4th PC, no promotions were there. To encourage staff, to inculcate confidence among them, this was introduced. So, who are eligible to get MACP? The person who have completed 10 years service, 10 years service, 20 years service, 30 years service. Whenever you complete that 10 years of service, a financial application is given. Suppose a person who joined railways in 1900 grade, that is level 2. After completion of 10 years, he should get second scale, third one. After that, after completion of 10 years, automatically he is uplifted to the next level, pay level. Earlier in 6th PC, we used to call it as a grade pay. Now, level of pay. So that is a level of pay. But there is a particular variety there in this basically. Suppose a person while working, suppose a person join as a AC accounts clerk, because we are all belong to accounts character. That's why I'm telling you. Accounts. Suppose a person joined a railway and railways as an accounts clerk. He gets promotion immediately after 2 or 3 years. So that for the purpose of MACP, that is also taken as a promotion, okay. Upliftment or what do you call career progression #1. So at that time, normally we used to calculate last promotion or 10 years of service. Suppose when he should get another promotion or MACP means after completion of 12 years old, because he got promotion after completion of 2 years. That is about MACP. For getting MACP promotion in upliftment, one should get very good. It is APR report. Confidential reports, you should get very good. Then, one more important aspect, establishment area is that verification of service registered with chart. This is one important area, especially working in an establishment section. You should be very careful because there is a Supreme Court judgment in 2016. Pay and allowances, overpayment of pay and allowances should not be recovered within 1 year of his service. Suppose an employee is retiring in the year of 2021, say. Suppose any overpayment is noticed, that should not be recovered. That is the ruling of Supreme Court. It is especially applicable to Group C and D employees. That what happens? The loss is occurred. He said Supreme Court judgment. In Supreme Court judgment, it is said that the loss of whatever the loss incurred should be recovered from the errands. That is a person who is working in a bill drawing officer, and that means person P branch, and accounts staff. That is bill drawing office. So I don't know how it is implemented or not implemented. I don't know. In certain areas, especially in South Central Secunderabad headquarters, it is implemented. In South Central also, some divisions are not following. I heard. But anything, pay and allowances within 1 year should not be recovered. And one more important instruction from our railway code is that para 1023 accounts code says that verification of service book and leave chart should not go beyond a extent instant, and it should confine only to 24 months within the preceding day of retirement. That means, so whenever an employee is drawing erroneously, so that should not be recovered. The meaning of the 1023 is that. So in fact, it is a loss to the administration. Railways is feeding us, so we should protect the interest of railways. What we should do normally in South Central Railway to diffuse this ambiguity to work perfectly. There is an agreement was made between Personnel and Accounts Department. A joint procedure order was issued to overcome the situation. Because 2016 there is a Supreme Court judgment, and 1023 para 1023 accounts code is our own constitution. So we have to follow these two instructions. But by following these instructions, some loss may occur to the errands who have committed a mistake. They are also our employees. They should not put any loss and all. So to protect the interests of employees, our PFA and PCPO in 2016 issued a joint procedure wherein it was decided that SR should be verified after the completion of 5 years, after the completion of from the date of his appointment, and at the end of 16 years before completion of before retirement of 5 years. So by verifying three times, normally mistakes are detected. So there should not be no loss to the employee or the staff working with this SR and R. So this is the very important. Normally I use it to emphasize to do perfectly, to follow strictly, because railway is our property. Railway, we should protect our interest of railways. At the same time, no employee should be suffered. So whenever a promotion, with the extra care, whenever a promotion occurs or any transfer occurs, you have to be very careful and verify the leave chart and SR. These are very important items in establishment arena. We should be very careful. Then coming to preparation of salary bills. Normally salary bills are prepared. Earlier there were a lot of salary programs for them. Used to be made, like engineering program, running program, mechanical running, that is drivers, guards, then general program. There were so many programs. Now all are dispensed, and now only one program is made. It is called general, calendar month, general, 1st to 30th. So for preparing salary and all, assumed attendance. Normally 14th is our cutoff date. Your salary is paid up to 14th actual. Then another part of attendance is assumed attendance after 14th. So salaries are program is made through AAMS. Chrissy has developed this program. So salary bills is normally accompanied with scale check register, cadre register, memorandum of differences, then absentee statement. What is the memorandum of differences? Normally, whenever there is a change in the pay due to any reason, promotion or punishment like that, that should appear in the memorandum differences. What is meant by scale check register? Scale check register is strength of the staff working in a particular unit. What is the strength? What is the sanction strength? What is the actuals? Any shortfall is there? Any more than sanction strength is there? That should be appearing in the scale check register. Then LPCs. Of course, the LPC is not playing a vital role nowadays because of bypass and all. But it is also an accompaniment to the salary bills. Leave encashment, already I covered at the time of during one service. 60 days will be encashed. But this leave encashment at the time of one's retirement is it can also be encashed. Maximum is 300 days. Maximum is 300 days. Pay plus PA. That is the leave encashment of salary. Then shortfall is there in the LAP, LHAP, whatever the shortfall. To that extent, you can take from the LHAP. So leave encashment is made two types. One is during one's service and at the time of retirement. So this is allowed. Regarding checkpoint of view, like traveling allowance, night duty allowance, overtime allowance, we should be very careful. A clear procedure is there for checking and all, because the time is how little time to explain. So I want to explain about the trial of TA and all. Normally, TA is drawn after the journey is performed in the next month. And this TA is, you have to claim within 2 months from the date of journey. Suppose you have traveled in the month of January, that should be claimed by March of that particular month. Normally, TA, you know very well that a person who is absent from headquarters 8 kilometers, I mean, who travel the journey more than 8 kilometers only is eligible to travel. So, depending on your journey, I already discussed about that one. Up to 6 hours, it is 30%. More than 6 hours to 12 hours, it is 70%. More than 12 hours, it is 100%. Depending on your level of pay, it is drawn. So one important point while checking the traveling TA bills is that the signature of the claimant should be available, and it should be forwarded by the controlling officer. You have to see the object of the journey. See, sometimes by inadvertently, I don't know, some cases are used to get some cases where there is no authority for his journey. So we have to see the office order or instructions issued by the officer for performing the journey. Like that, there is a conveyance allowance is also there. Conveyance allowance is per kilometer it is allowed, but this is also restricted to certain fixed amounts. But there are no clear instructions from board at all. It is this is local, depending on the zonal values it is taken. Sometimes, if transport, conveyance is exceeded by 1200 or 1300, 1800 like that, a fixed amount will be also be given. There are no clear instructions. I repeatedly telling you, this is a local arrangement which is followed by zonal values. Very, very important point in night duty allowance. Night duty allowance normally is 8 hours from night 10 o'clock to morning 6 hours. 6 a.m. means 8 hours. For 1 hour, 10 minutes is allowed as a night duty allowance. So there is a factor, and this night duty allowance is also changed from like DA, January 1st January and July it is changed. According to your level of pay, it is normally calculated. So the persons who are drawing in the level of 6th level, they are only eligible to draw this night duty allowance. Increments. Normally, increment is drawn once the completion of a year. Now, it is normally up to 7th PC and up to recently also it was drawn only once, but that is in July. Now it is changed according to date of promotion, financial benefit. You can claim in the month of January also, which is beneficial to the employee. Whenever a person gets getting promotion, option can be given to draw increment in the month of January or July. That is important. One of the more important aspect in establishment is joining. Normally, whenever a person is transferred on administrative accounts, he is eligible to claim joining time. Joining time, as I told you, it is under administrative grounds only. It is not applicable to the request transfers. So, depending on the date, length of the journey, it is allowed like 10 days, 12 days, 20 days. Suppose if it is not avoid that amount, the amount of leave, 10 days or 12 days, that will be credited to the LAP. And staff benefits. It's very, very important. Out of this fund, normally employees are paid towards technical scholarships and for some welfare activities. And all under this staff benefit fund, staff are paid some education assistance to the railway employees, their children, maternity benefits, then relief to the
Yeah, we'll earmark last 10 minutes for question answer session.
Okay.
Last 10 minutes. Before ending, just please give me a minute. I will ask questions. Right, thank you. Please carry.
So this is how this is maintained means actually furniture amount, then amount collected towards fine, and railway administration also fixes according to the number of employees. This fund is utilized for the purpose of educational assistance to the employees and their children, maternity benefits, and some certain welfare activities. Like recreations, tours are also covered under this fund. Staff benefits. So you can ask questions. Sir.
Participants, please raise your hand. You can ask any queries to faculty. Otherwise, I will unmute all the participants. You can speak to the faculty. You can ask queries. Yeah, please you share the study material afterwards. I will share in the WhatsApp groups. Please share the study material. To me, I will share in the WhatsApp groups the study material with me on the current session. Yeah, participants, any queries? Please, you can unmute and speak to the faculty. No, video start.
आप लोगों को कुछ डाउट्स है, कुछ क्लैरिफिकेशन चाहिए तो आप पूछ सकते। आप लोग कुछ डाउट्स क्लैरिफिकेशन है तो आप स्पीकर से पूछ सकते। कुछ भी डाउट्स है क्या तो पूछ सकते, नहीं तो और एक क्या बोलते आप फीडबैक भी दे सकते। लेक्चर कैसा है आप फीडबैक भी है, फीडबैक भी दे सकते आप कुछ सजेशंस भी दे सकते। ओके
Sir, we can end this session, sir. There are no queries.
Okay. So on behalf of the academy, I thank all the participants. I also thank the faculty of the day, Sri CHV Ramakrishna SSO, regarding establishment rules. Thank you one and all. Just to remain, tomorrow's session will start at 12 hours. Login will be at 11:45. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Giving an opportunity to speak about establishment. Thank you very much.
Thank you.